right, welcome in everyone to another day of FOFE Sports. Come friend or foe, everyone's welcome here as we find ourselves in another day back to the Helios League, week 4, day number 2. We got game 1 of our second set of round robins here. I am Schnecky IRL and I will be your play-by-play caster for the evening, joined in by the one and only Lolo.
Hey Schnecky, how you doing? I'm super excited for the games this evening. It's going to be super spicy and we're kicking things off with a banger here. We've got PTP and GURL going at it. These guys have definitely got a bit of a history together, and there's a particular rivalry going on there. There have been some changes between player drafts, and Pure Llama, some of you aficionados of FOF will notice that Pure Llama, PTP's former jungler, is sitting there on GURL's side, and he's going to be looking to get a little bit of one over on his former org. So this should be a really spicy one, really indeed. So yeah, let's get into some bans.
Absolutely, and it's always that really interesting dynamic when you have a player who's familiar with being on the enemy team, the opposing team, and how they strategize and what they really play and what their game plan is. I tend to think we might have a little bit of an edge from that player swap for Team PTP. We can already see some of the bans coming out now as we got the Mordekaiserman Lux directed towards maybe the support role or some of the solo lanes of Gorilla Muffins, and Amumu and Kled really targeting towards that top side for PTP.
Yeah, and so Mordekaiser, definitely one of Bacon Pancake's favorite champs, so it's very understandable for that first ban there. On the other side, Maiden OP is by the name, I'm sure you guessed, he's a Yorick main, but does play a lot of Kled as well, and GURL just not wanting to deal with that champ, so they've taken that off the board. And yes, a lot of bans going forward to the supports. Amumu, we have seen some Amumu support recently. It does have a bit of spice with the double bandage toss, but it's for the time being, these guys are keeping cards fairly close to their chest and just trying to take as much comfort off the board as possible.
When it is his first pick, that's going to tell us a lot here, Lolo, on how this team is actually looking to construct themselves. If this is the Malzahar lock-in, that tells us one of the things they're looking to do is have at least that one ultimate that's able to take one of the opponents out of the game. Maybe that's directed towards Nico, or at least having that wave clear in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Malzahar, it's, I believe, Nico's signature champion. So picking that away from her makes a lot of sense. On the other side, Vayne. Both of these AD carries are quite seasoned Vayne players. Steve is in particular is a Vayne player, so they're going to lock that in straight away and try to hold that counter picks for the solo lanes, which very, very sensible. I think that against this Malzahar, it is relatively easy to draft something that will go against it and try to put down as much pressure early. But it does look like GURL are going to be looking to go hard straight away in the bot lane with this Vayne Leona combo we've got going on here.
Yeah, and the moment you see that Leona attacks, you kind of already know the enemy AD carry is going to have to probably take cleanse. Luckily, Tristana is locked in. Being an ADC main myself, you are able to play around Leona in the sense that you can time your rocket jump in a correct maneuver to be able to buffer the Zenith Blade from Leona, so it's not necessary completely for the cleanse. There's the Xerath here, meaning that might be a Xerath support over to Cyborg Skull. That's going to give him a lot of poke versus Vayne Leona, very short range bottom lane.
Yeah, and I'm quite interested that with this Tristana and Xerath pickups on the side of PTP. Vayne is previously a bot laner. He was previously the bot laner, as you can tell by the tag, of course. Very open and informative tags on the side of PTP.
Right.
Tristana mid, we have seen a bit of it so far, although that does put a lot of questions as to where the Malzahar will be going. However, I'm not sure about the synergy between Tristana and Xerath in the bot side. Xerath obviously a much more poke-focused champion, whereas Tristana wants to be going all in level 2 with that Hail of Blades. And yeah, I'm not sure if they are going to be going for this, then I guess they're going to be trying to put a little bit more emphasis on the top side of the map, just because it's going to be quite difficult to deal with this Vayne and Leona early. So on the other side, Neko going to pick up a Syndra, very standard pick, and that's going to take us to the next set of bans.
Absolutely. I do really like the Malzahar pick early on into this comp here, especially when you're able to use it later on to tie down a Vayne. But again, you talked about this bottom lane. Tristana Xerath by no means is something traditional that you really expect to be in the same composition in the same bottom lane. I do think when you draft that Xerath, you're then kind of having the Tristana being able to use her W more defensively, to where Xerath is looking to get as much poke as you can, because let's face it, Vayne's going to have a very difficult time even walking up to the lane here when Xerath has just so much poke coming out. So maybe they want to play safe, allow their jungler, Brown Jesus, to be able to play towards topside and get that well-deserved revenge that they've been looking for.
Absolutely. And we can see that both sides, there is quite a lot of jungle bans coming out from this second round of bans here. They're trying, particularly GURL, I think, trying to stifle Brown Jesus. I love the way you pronounce that. His pool as much as possible. Like this in-show makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think what they do also have to be very, I suppose, very worried about is the
Yeah, well, looks like while we get this little draft fixed up for a second, we got something more exciting than a damn draft. We got the promo video. We'll be right back. Check it out. See you guys shortly.
So far, the games have been super killer. They're a lot of fun. I do feel like there's a skill gap, but despite that, all the games have been super fun. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised that some of these teams haven't stomped us.
The teams are actually surprisingly coordinated. I was expecting a bit of a cluster. You know, you're playing real League of Legends, not solo queue, like half the team is feeding.
I think we're definitely holding our own. I also think that they should be doing better, so it's kind of disappointing. Overall, it hasn't been like as bad as you'd expect it to be with such a big skill gap.
Root is going to come through onto escape. He has no flash. He has no escape. The War Leader is fighting for his life. Here comes the curtain call. That's one. War Leader gets out, but that's two for the Jhin. Stove is dieted, gets 2 kills for himself.
I'm really excited because I think we've been putting in the hours. I think that we can stomp on bot lane, and I'm looking forward to the matchup. I hope we don't ban Vayne so that we can really see who's the better Vayne. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, we're going to come in, good attitude, new top laner, very excited to see how he does. Make sure that we rotate for objectives, do all that nonsense, and play the best match we can.
Dude, for sure I'm the better Vayne player. I've never had a champ make me gain like 15 pounds. You know, I've put in the hours, so I'm excited to see, you know, if one of us gets to pick him, who's the real Vayne.
Basically, we were having some internal issues. The last season, and this is what the team has told me basically, is that there's been huge comm issues. Nobody talks, nobody says anything, there's no planning. Basically, just come in and solo queue it, right? Play whatever you want, do whatever you want. We're doing like drafts, practice days. I know that I have certain expectations for the way that competitive gaming should be done. I have like minimum requirements for what I think that communication should be.
ProDH is a good player. It's just not, it was just not working. So I'm excited to see the matchup between them and see if there's any extra rivalry between them, knowing that, you know, ProDH just came out of our team. Despite that, I'm excited for both of them to be playing and, you know, see how they do.
The flash is coming through. Black Venom's in trouble. He's taking a bunch of damage, and he's going to find himself into the ground. Now everybody is going to be joining him, as so much damage has coming out from this Anivia, who is getting suppressed.
So I don't want to get into too much drama. I don't want to like bash anybody. It just is what it is. We're moving on. Wish the best for him. I hope it works out for both Biggest Dekus and Kuralama.
I do think that the team is pretty tight together. So I don't think it'll be, you know, a landslide, but I am hoping that we're able to close out close to 25 minutes. And I hope we're able to dominate the objectives so that they can't get the lead they got on us last time.
As far as the outcome of the match, we expect to win. How we get there, that's up for debate.
Yeah, you guys are sleeping on Team GURL. Just wait for it, baby.
right, and welcome back, everyone. Here we go. Game one. Man, if that video does not send some damn chills down your spine, maybe some of this gameplay right here will. Again, I'm Schnecky IRL, joined in. We got Lolo here. Lolo, we didn't get a chance to give our predictions for game one, man. Any initial thoughts?
I am definitely liking this draft on the side of GURL. I think that it has so much agency in the early game with this Xin Zhao, this very explosive all-in bot lane with the Vayne Leona. I think that whilst I do like the Trundle pickup, I think that's going to be very strong against the Tahm Kench in particular and the Leona. I still think that this Tristana Xerath combination in the bot lane, and I hope to be proven wrong, but
Yep.
I think that's going to be a little bit of the weak link here for BTP, and otherwise,
Right.
Otherwise, I think if they can get a good engage with the Gnar, with the Malzahar Nethergrass, potentially they can lock down a key target and so on. But ultimately, I still think that GURL have got the more easily executable comp, and that's what I'm going to go for. How about yourself?
Well, you know, when you bring up that bottom lane as an AD carry Tristana main myself, I have a little bit of faith that we are going to be able to see something come out of Vaynol here. So to be play-by-play and to be the ice to your warmth here, I'm going to go with the side of blue side here. We're going to go with PTP, Pentakill Teemo, please, and we're going to see what happens here. And again, one thing we were looking to note on that bottom lane was whether or not Vaynol was going to have to take the cleanse. He opted to take kills, so it should be a little bit better in lane and not as big of a safety net is needed yet.
Well, and I mean, potentially they are still going to look for that all-in level 2 if they're down for it, they get it first. I mean, it would be quite bold against the Leona, but if they do have that heal, as you say, and I'm sure they've been practicing this themselves. Vaynol, who is their captain, was telling me prior to the game that they are looking to practice as much as possible and get themselves to a high level as possible to challenge some of the top teams in the league. So yeah, lots to see out of this bot side from PTP. As for the time being, we're not going to see anything too ridiculous on the map. We're seeing both of the junglers pathing up towards the top side. And of course, that's Xerath allowing a lot of poke early, a lot of priority, and that's going to give the level 2. Are we going to go all in? Let's see.
They kind of want to test the field a little bit. I feel like with that lane, after we just heard what we just heard right now, Lolo, we have Vaynol and Stove has died battling over who the better Vayne is, who the better bottom laner is, and you got Stove being able to get that Vayne, even though we had blue side first pick here. It says a lot at what they're trying to accomplish here. Tristana normally pretty well into the Vayne, especially when you're able to all in Vayne, assuming she's not invisible with her ultimate. But again, Cyborg on that Xerath here. We need to see a bit of poke coming out because they do not win that all-in 2v2 at all. And again, this will have impact on how these jungles choose the path. Graviel already going for the top side scuttle. Meanwhile, Pure Llama, bottom side scuttle for himself.
Yeah, and Pure Llama is already gonna. He's gone into the river very early. He's actually neglected a couple of camps to make sure that he's able to get the drop on this on the river. He's hovering, and is Brown Jesus gonna push up too far here?
Doesn't look like he's aware here. Orb's getting thrown out. Beautiful flash. Gonna be able to dodge that hit, and Llama walking away. We did have Graviel in the area, but Brown Jesus was able to scout it out in time.
Yeah, and so that's... I mean, the flash, it is going to make him quite he's going to make him quite a vulnerable target, especially with this Xin Zhao, who's still going to be hovering down on the bot side, clearing out his camps. And... however, Brown Jesus is definitely getting the better of these mid-trades at the moment. Neko is in a very tough position right now. No mana, and she's going to have to take quite a bad base. And she doesn't have TP either, so really, really nice for Brown Jesus right now to be able to get that priority in the mid lane.
Definitely an interesting angle. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at all these solo lanes and what they're really trying to do, right? Both teams are testing the waters, man. This is barely week 4, and this is day 2. And already Llama making his way back to the mid lane. No more flash for Brown Jesus, but he's still able to walk away with his life for now. Meanwhile, that fight for that priority in the bottom lane continues.
Yeah, and I mean, the CS at the moment is fairly evening. Neither of these sides, they're both testing the waters a little bit. We both know that there is a lot of rivalry. Neither of these teams want to be making any throws. They really both do want this. So I don't blame them for being quite careful right now, not wanting to, you know, kind of coin flip the game on an all-in level 2. And this double push, of course, from the Tristana and the Xerath, which we talked about. Both champions, like, crushing lanes so quickly, waves, excuse me, and that's allowing a huge amount of priority, which will draw some aggro from Nico, who's going to be looking to move down into the bot river already.
You have her slowly making her way down to the bottom. And again, that's kind of one of those double-edged sword points of when you draft a Tristana. You have just a passive from your explosive shot that's going to automatically slow push that wave.
Cool.
We have Black Venom now looking to cancel the recall from Cyborg here with the shocking orb. Not going to land, but it's not going to quite matter just yet. Llama is down there hovering, might look to go in. Cyborg low on mana. It looks like Llama does not want to commit to the bottom lane play. Walks slowly back up towards the Scud, but making his way back here. Man, I can feel the tension in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's exactly playing out as they'd wanted, I think, where Stover's Dided, excuse me, has been chunked out so much already by this, incessant poke from the Xerath that they're really not in a position to make that play. Look, he's not got he's got the heal, of course, still on deck, but he's really got to be careful. He's going to have to go for a base there, I think, and that's going to allow them to shove under turret and get themselves some priority in the bot side, which, Pure Llama has been...
Yeah, Recall's going to be out there, man. It's always super, super close and scary when you have such a low-range champion like the Vayne, and you got a Xerath that can just non-stop throw orbs at you, throw all of his comets and all of his damage. So we got to be careful when we see that Recall. We are going to be able to get a glimpse at what they're looking to itemize now. Although both bot lanes did back, Pure Llama already going to be starting Dragon number 1.
Yeah, and this Sinja, of course, incredibly strong early, and he's been hanging around the bot side the entire time because he's just so wary of either of these lanes getting all in on. It's both sides, Nico, Black, and of course Stover's Dided and Black Venom. They've been holding their own. However, this bot lane, the CS differential is already starting to grow. It's about 10 at the moment, and it's only going to keep going if this poke just keeps coming out. On the flip side, we really haven't talked very much about the top lane, but honestly, that's because there's not much kill pressure up here, really. It's just going to be, little Yordle and a frog dancing around each other. And
a little Yordle and a damn big catfish out there just licking each other, throwing some bones. But, look, it's one of those lanes where, of course, Nars should be able to win on that lane because he is ranged, able to get some damage out. But, man, Tom Kench right now in Season 11 is just so strong. They're able to do so much damage to a lot of those melee topside bruisers. You got the Bammy Cinder, you have the tankiness, and you're also able to do just as much damage.
And this is good. Both sides have obviously done a little bit of posturing. We have seen a flash burn from Brown Jesus in the mid lane. However, that's almost coming off cooldown already. And a very, very tentative start from both sides. We're used to in this league seeing a lot of all-in potential very early, actually. I think this is going to be one of the latest First Bloods we've seen in a game so far in the Helios League. And, I guess it does boil down to, the amount of safety that these comps have, but also just the matchup in general. However, it does look like both junglers are still hovering around the topside river, and we may see an immediate exchange hanging on there. Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh. There's the Voyage looking to go in. Maiden might be in a bit of danger here. Gets eaten up from the TK. Couple of fights going at once here. Lolo looking back at bottom. This is the trigger that was waiting to be pulled now. Can't quite get the kill, but back to the top side. Maiden in a very bad spot. Ultimate now out as a Gnar looking to try to put back Llama to the tower. And there is the kill. First blood on over to the Pure Llama, but the TP now looking to help out. Here comes Nico looking to go in. Bacon pancakes looking to flip some burgers up here. Can't quite get it out. Down he goes is Brown Jesus looking to run, but by no means can you hide. 2 kills over to Nico. That's going to be 3 for the side of Team GURL.
And really, really crucial for Team GURL right there. They get so much value up there in that top side. As you said, 2 kills going over to Nico is huge. That's going to give this Syndra a massive amount of acceleration. And of course, because Brown Jesus went down, he doesn't have his TP up, so she's going to be able to get a shove under turret and get herself a very nice base and a lot of and build her item advantage. Meanwhile, Pure Llama is going to take the opportunity to take that Herald, which of course they were contesting for Vision for in the top side. Other than that, this is really going to put Graviel behind now. He's going to have to move in and try to hold this mid wave as well because of Brown Jesus not having that TP. So that's going to provide a lot of priority, which they desperately needed because this bot side And I was proven entirely wrong. This Tristana Xerath is really putting on a clinic right now. Look at that CS differential down there. Absolutely massive. Vaynol is really looking to make a statement against GURL in this series.
Speaking of statements, there's a lot of volumes being lifted here. Llama wants to go back mid. Can't quite find Brown Jesus just yet. Rabiel does have his eye on a Pure Llama as he goes back to his bottom half of his jungle. But back to mid here. We had a real big question of why the lane was so even though we had the Ignite from Neeko. And this is exactly what she was waiting for, to be able to pull the trigger, get the damage out, get the burst out. But now, oh no, you do not want to face check here. There's the suppression and death will slowly follow. And Brown Jesus picks one back up in the mid lane.
And a little bit of a misstep there from Neeko. I mean, especially when you have your flash on cooldown, it is so dangerous as a very vulnerable champion with no mobility like a Syndra to be walking up there. So that's going to give a huge push to Brown Jesus as we see an all-in on the bot side.
Oh, when wind becomes lightning, things get audacious. Llama going forward with the beautiful condemn from Stove. Cyborg will fall. Vaynol looking to try to turn, but the burn was not felt. And that's going to be one more going back over to Team GURL.
Oh, and that was bars, by the way. I really enjoyed that. And a very, very nice condemn there, as you said, from Stove is Dida to be able to lock that kill onto Cyborg's skull. However, they don't get much more out of it, and Grabiel is hovering here.
Oh, that's that beautiful reset. You're able to buffer with the W from the Tristana. Graviel is there. Black Venom does not want to further commit, but you got to be careful. The W is not there from Vaynol. He needs to watch out. That's okay. Llama is just going to recall. Look for the reset as Dragon up in the next 30 seconds or so.
Dragon is up, however, and he does still have the Herald here. It might be an opportune time to pop that in the mid lane, try to get some priority there and lock Brown Jesus under turret so they can get all of the pressure they needed in this river. However, the bot lane just based, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. It does look like PTP might be able to get that priority on this first Drake. The bot side is also moving up. They do look like they're going to be trying to take it down themselves.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get their eyes on their first Dragon potentially here. Maiden again in another bit of a 1v1 is able to jump away, walk back safely to the safety net of his tier 1 topside turret. Nothing right there, and it looks like Pure Llama just going to look to get some value out of that Rift Herald and give up the Dragon. Oh no!
Oh, but they're never grass.
That is huge. Instantly shredded. Syndra will fall. Llama's too deep as well, and that's 2 more back over to PTP.
Oh, fantastic. They're not going to let it. Yeah, they're not even going to let it charge. That is... Gosh, that play went all kinds of wrong for GURL there. And you've got to... I mean, I'll be interested to see how quickly we see the QSS tax coming out from some of these players on the... because of this Malzahar Nethergrass, which is so potent. And as you can see, Brown Jesus, who has... After that play, he is massively accelerated. He already has the injuries on deck, which played into him being able to burst down Neeko so quickly. And they're going to take that first turret. They're going to be very, very happy with that.
Oh, yeah, man. As Graviel here, you got to feel really, really good as that jungler for their side. Such a beautiful transparent of movements there. You take the Dragon, you cancel the knock from the Rift Herald mid, and you get 2 kills. Absolutely pivotal moment for the side of PTP. They're going to gain that lead. All the pressure's now theirs. The ball is in their court. 1-1 in terms of Dragons. Maiden doing okay on his own at the top lane, and bot lane doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, GURL... It still looked more or less all right. I mean, Neeko's got to be careful, again, not to shove too much because Grabiel is hovering there in the mid lane. In fact, it does look like he might be wanting to go for this again.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Is she going to move up? Okay, no, she's hugging the right side. She's hugging the top side. Very, very sensible, but I don't know if it's going to matter.
Yeah, man, once that pillar comes out, Neeko has nowhere to run but to the own safety net of their ally as Llama looking to go forward. They're going to audaciously charge in. There's a Crescent Guard. Llama will be able to take 1 down, looking for 2. Graviel goes down. It will be a 2-to-1 trade of the mid lane here. And Pure Llama just letting out all that anger. He said, I was on your team, and now I'm on a better one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely making a statement. He's definitely wanting to get some kills down on his former teammates, but that's going to be really, really valuable for him. I mean, look at the scoreline now. He's on 3-1-2. This Xin Zhao is going to be... He's already got the Gore Drinker. He's definitely going to be a key feature, and it looks like they're going to go for the dive as well. Onto...
Llama does want to go in here. We're going to see if he uses that blast cone defensively. Yeah, he's going to just kind of back out now. I don't know if he walked over that control ward, Lolo, and was like, hey, man, I got to get out of here. They know I'm here or not. But either way, he walks back. He's got his Gore Drinker still, so he's able to be in those long-run fights. We got to remember, he just got 2 kills. He kind of wants to go back and spend some of that gold.
Absolutely. And of course, as they had gotten those 2 kills, he was aware that the mid jungle was just respawning, so they could be potentially caught at a very instant numbers disadvantage. So very sensible from him to back off and make the safe play and go down into this bot side, clear out his camps, and well, it does look like Grabiel is hovering here. Nico as well, though.
Ooh.
And oh, everyone's coming down here. It's a party in the bot lane.
Oh, it's a fiesta, and everybody's name is on the damn invite sheet. Nico just going to back out for now. As soon as Brown Jesus does show some face, Nico's like, all right, we got to back out now. We're down a little bit here in terms of gold, but they're still in a very good spot here. Team GURL is to be able to come back and grasp their way back into the lead. We're going to look towards top, making Pancakes and Maiden, just looking to try to get any bit of a lead that they can. Maiden does take a little bit more damage on some of the trades here, but is still up in terms of farm.
He is still up in terms of farm. He has had to delay his Mythic, which will almost certainly be a... well, it could be a draw drinker, to be fair. I mean, he's looking to be obviously the front line for his team. I'm not sure whether I would want to opt for a Divine Sunder here against this Tahm Kenshin lane. It does make a lot more sense, potentially. But because he's had to go for those treads initially, just because of the amount of CC coming out, in particular when coupled with the threat from Pure Llama on the Xin Zhao, then, yeah, he's a little bit behind. He is up in CS. He has taken a kill or 2. He's got to be a little bit careful. I think we're going to see an all-in now. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits of Gnar, you're kind of able to just walk away, even though Pancakes is big and realistically how huge this champion is. The fact that he still is able to do that much damage up into a bruiser like the Gnar does speak volumes on what he's going to be able to do in some of these team fights later on. But we got to keep in mind, one of those big major AD threats that we do have from the side of Team GURL is in Stove, and they haven't quite popped off yet. Now looking at Rift here, Pancakes walking forward, no jungle there, no smite. Pancakes very deep. There's the ult. He's gonna get canceled. Pancakes can't even damn move. He's stuck to the ground, and that's gonna be lights out.
And I mean, we've seen it is a fixture of FOF, of course, to have a Tahm Kench carrying the team. Although shoutouts to the Rap Kench. But I mean, this champion, especially when you have so much anti-tank on the side of PTP, the Malzahar with his Liandry's, of course. This subjugate from the Trundle. He gets bursted down so quickly. And aside from, I mean, there is front line across the board. As I say that, though, in the bot side.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, Cyborg was just at the wrong place at the wrong darn time there. So, not going to really end pretty for him. And that does look like it does pave the pathway for the Dragon here. Brown Jesus wants to walk forward. TP to secure it from Pancakes. His Gravel going to be walking to the fight. Black Venom with the Zenith Blade onto the Brown Jesus. They're going to try to go in. There's Pancakes. Now to the back line. Here comes Maiden. Dragon is going to be secured for now, but the fight is still going to pursue a little bit further on as Pure Llama going to try to go in. Condemned for Maiden. Maiden flashes away, but into the enemies a little bit more. Maiden will end up falling. All 5 there from Team GURL as Brown Jesus has to try to back up. There is Llama looking to try to peel it out a little bit. Venom still alive, looking to run away. Can't quite make it, but Graviel will end up going down for the fight, and that's going to be it for the side of PTP. Team GURL is just breaking down boundaries one by one, and that's the lead slowly going back over to them.
A little bit of an overextension there, well, not even a little bit. I mean, that was such a long extended fight from the PTP kind of force there. Particularly Grabiel really kind of pushing him with the Trundle, and it was, I mean, it did look all right for them to start with. They did have, we did have Maiden OP pincer-ing rounds, so they could get themselves the engage that they wanted, but I mean, it went on for so long, it allowed Nico to come in and just completely burst down Brown Jesus, who had to get out of the fight very, very quickly. And just without that, I mean, fighting in those choke points when you're against something like a Syndra, a Leona as well, it's so tricky, and they gave over a lot more than they needed to. I mean, once the Dragon had gone down and GURL had taken it now, accelerating their lead to 2 dragons to 1. And we do see an Infernal Soul, by the way. That's going to be particularly nice for some of these burst damage champions like the Syndra. The Xerath as well is going to like that quite a lot, I think, as is the Tristana. So once going back to this, once the dragon had gone, then they really didn't need to force that more than a couple of picks, and yeah, it didn't pay off for them.
Yeah, man, and sometimes when you're at that objective, all of the intuition kind of goes out the drain. You're like, okay, my enemies are here. I gotta fight now. This was my old damn team. And it was Team GURL, though, that luckily was able to navigate through some of that madness a little bit better. We now have Nico back to the mid lane, though, but Tristana is going to be hovering. We now are going to see a bit of a fight for that mid lane prio here as Baron is up, Dragon is down. Bottom lane, not too helpful right now. No TPs up from Maiden or Pancakes, so no need for them to be down there.
Oh, but it does really look like neither team, I think they're just going to be posturing around this mid turret. I don't know if anyone's going to be wanting to go for an engage. Of course, the Nether Grasp is online. That's one of the easiest engages they could make. But they're going to look, I think, to instead just to try to chunk as much as possible. Cyborg Skull, excuse me, walking up with his just a poke from the Xerath, doing so much. And yeah, they're both sides. I mean, we saw from that previous fight, there is so much emotion riding on this game that we could see one of these players just pop the trigger at any moment, just because they want it so badly. So it's a tough one, and I think as demonstrated by that previous fight, the just composure and taking what you should and not more than you should is actually what's going to win out for these players. So,
right,
understandable. Yeah, I think they're just going to back off. And look at this prio though. Sova's died it.
Yeah, once you have that Rite of the Arcane coming out there from Cyborg there, Lolo, you just kind of got to back up for his stove, especially being that low range of an auto attack damage AD carry. But again, look, earlier on we were really harping down to the bottom lane and how it's going to impact towards them in the late game. We had Stove down a ton of farm, and he was just playing it slow. When you're playing Vayne and you can't quite get the engage, you got to play it slow, and here he is now. He's got 3 kills, he's got 3 assists, and he is now a very valid win condition for the side of GURL.
He, of course, has the shield bow as well, which is going to be able to mitigate some of that burst damage coming out from these champions like the Tristana, the Xerath. So as the map kind of resets to neutral, we have a moment here. Let's just take stock of where the items are at now. We see an awful lot of anti-tank weaponry coming out from the side of PTP, very understandably, given that front line from the Tahm Kench and the Leona. 2 Divine Sunderers, of course. On the other side, a little bit more on the defensive builds overall. We do see a Gore Drinker coming out from an incredibly accelerated Pure Llama. The Loons, of course, there is going to be a lot of burst damage there from Nico. However, as I said before, this Vayne having to offer something a little bit more on the defensive side. Does mean she's not going to do as much damage straight up in the fights, but does mean that she will be able to hold out. And as we saw previously, the extended fights are seeming to favor GURL's comp at the moment because of the amount of sustain they have in their kit. So yeah, both sides. I think, as I say that though, we're going to see we're going to see a massive engage coming.
Okay, Crescent Guard is
jungle now.
Yeah, he said, this ain't your jungle. I'm going to be setting up camp, baby, and Graviel is at the head of it. They can't quite set up what they were looking for just yet. They are able to push Nico out of their own bottom side jungle, and this is really good because they now have control. And look what's spawning, baby. Dragon number 4 for the game.
Yes, absolutely, and PTP are going to put all of their members onto this. They really don't want to give away this Infernal Soul point. That would be... It would be a big win condition for the side of GURL, and they're just going to walk away. Very, very sensible here. We're not going to see some overextensions like we saw in the previous Dragon fight. So, yep, GURL, a little bit chunked down on the health bars there. Instead, they're just going to look to reset and try to work their way maybe to get some vision over on the Baron. But it does look like PTP have definitely got the better of that. They've got so much priority up here in this top side.
Ooh, Graviel going to be going forward already, but it looks like Llama's able to flash away to safety. Tier 2 turret there to help on out. Of course, we had Pancakes there, making sure he's safely escorted to the Tier 2 turret. Oh, but Stove is way deep. Flash out in an aggressive approach from Vayne, though. That's going to be 2 Summoner Spells for the price of 1, looking at the enemy AD carries.
Yeah, absolutely, but see the amount of wave push that these champions have. It's so difficult. They entirely pushed in on the bot and on all 3 lanes at this point, actually. And yeah, you really don't want to walk into against a Trundle. We saw like Nico paying the price for that before. It's not an easy champion to face check.
Definitely not at all. We have a bit of a fight for this jungle here. You almost gotta really feel that Team GURL here is just trying their best to try to maintain any sort of the vision control into their own jungle that they really can. Man, this game is so darn close that we had to call out the big guns, and now we got Josie in the Twitch chat. Everything's getting crazy over here on this rift, man.
Oh my goodness. It's so hard for girls comp at this stage, given the just the amount of push. They're not even going to worry about the Baron. They're just going to completely burst down this bot side, this bot side tier 2. And instead, they're just going to look to back away, I think, and just get some resets up of their own, make a beeline for Baron, spend a bit of that gold. And the flip side, though, this is going to allow Black Venom and Stove is Dieted to get a little bit of a push in the mid lane, get themselves a little bit of prio back. But yeah, just the amount of wave clear on the side of PTP is really making the difference in this kind of macro neutral that we're seeing as we wait for potentially wait for the next Drake to spawn. But it does look like GURL are looking to posture around this Baron and maybe get a pick.
Yep, they want to maintain priority in that mid lane to be able to establish a little bit of control onto the map, and it's Graviel who's looking to go forward. Nico already going to be forced to flash early on into the fight. We got Pancakes and Llama making sure they're that front line to keep Nico, but to be able to protect Stove there on the AD carry. They're going to be okay for now. A bit of a game of tug of war here for that mid lane prio, Lolo.
Absolutely. We're going to see a little bit of the Narum coming out there. I think both sides... It's so hard to split push, and yeah, look at this. Like, Nico is getting chunked down massively by this, by the right of the Arcane, I believe it's called, the Xerath ultimate. So, just, they have to back away. They've all been chunked out by all of this poke, and this is going to allow them potentially posture for the tier 2. Instead, they're just going to go, and they have a very, very fast Baron with this Tristana, so are they going to go and start this up?
They're sure looking to play around it here. They don't want to make any sudden movements quite yet. We know Team GURL is right there lurking in the shadows. And let's be honest here, after earlier on when we did watch that hype video, Lolo, we know how much more this game means to Stove is Dotted getting the Vayne that they were talking about in the video earlier. It's more than a win, man. The dude's damn pride is on the line. This is why he has not died yet. Llama gonna get some damage out onto the Brown Jesus, and here comes the re-engage. Pancake's gonna be going forward. Pancake's walking right the hell back out. Still no sudden movements yet. No team wants to commit.
And I mean, they can't. Like, GURL, Bacon Pancakes was looking to try to get something there, but the members just can't follow up because they're all just taking so much damage from this Xerath, and the Malzahar definitely isn't helping either. In the meantime, Maiden OP has just had, you know, all of the kind of freedom he likes to come and split push. He's now at a state where it really isn't... Bacon Pancakes is going to be able to burst him down very easily. He's starting to build up that Narbar as well. Yep. And so instead, because these teams have been posturing around the mid lane for so long, the Dragon is up in 40 seconds now. And it's going to be soul point for either side. So both of them really going to be wanting this. However, again, because of all of that priority that wave clear is giving them, PTP are the first ones into the river.
Dragon up in 30 seconds. It is PTP that's there first, but it looks like the whole entire squadron of Team GURL is right here. Sweeper out from Llama. Graviel's a little bit deep here. Venom is able to land the Zenith Blade, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit quite yet. Graviel going to be walking away. It's now Team GURL who has control of the Dragon Pit. Pancakes across the map, has TP up. There's a lot of damage now. Right of the Arcane going to be coming out. We're going to get a lot of damage out of Venom, but Venom's going to look to engage. Llama to follow up. Vanal takes out Venom, but a big ultimate is going to hold Llama in his tracks. Buster shot to throw him back as Graviel looking to run away. Pancake still alive. Here comes Vanal to the back line, but it's Stove who does take him down. Everyone's dying, and it's PTP walking away with their bars still blue, not black like the enemy team, and that's going to be the Dragon for them as well.
Looks like they're going to transition to Baron. I mean, that fight went so well for PTP. You see how even something as chunky as poor Bacon Pancakes in this Tom Kench just gets...
Test. I think we might have had your mic DC for a second there. Can we get a mic check 1 2? We got Lolo here. Mic check 1 2. All right, we might have lost Lolo for a second here. Yeah, we might have lost Lolo, guys, so we're going to kind of hang out and solo cast this one just a little bit here. It doesn't matter that one of our casters' microphone dies. Team PTP says this game ain't over yet. They take the Baron. They're able to take some of their lead and now have a little bit more pressure. They're up 9,000 gold. We're also at Soul Point. Going to wait for Lolo to reconnect that beautiful blue Yeti. We're kind of just hanging out here again. A lot on the line here, guys. A lot more than just a victory in week 4. We do have at the start game number 1 still of that second group stage bracket. A lot on the line here. We do have Pure Llama making sure he's able to do okay. He does not want to lose to PTP, guys. This is a guy that was on the team. He was there. He swapped teams, and now he's looking to spearhead a lot of the charge here for Team GURL. We do have Pancakes doing okay for now. Both teams looking to try to build some pressure. We do have PTP still with the Baron buff, but Brown Jesus is a little bit too deep here. Here comes Stove, but it is the ultimate that's able to try to help him out, but that's not going to be enough. Jesus now looking to run away, but Stove is died. Is going to be flashing forward, and TK is able to take down the enemy mid lane. Nico will fall, but it will be a 1-for-1. No mid laner is longer on the map. Still a decent trade, though, for the side of Team GURL, as they are able to stall out some of the pressure of the enemy Baron buff.
What did I miss? It does look like...
Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. A little bit of internet trouble there, but it does look like we are back. And as expected, PTP are able to take down that Baron, and just because of the amount of priority that they're going to be having all of these lanes, it is going to allow, whilst Maiden OP doesn't have his TP, he's allowed to sit here on the top side, and it's not very much they can do for them. I mean, on the other side, Vanal is just looking to push in this bot turret. There's only the tier 3 remaining. And yes, Stove has died. It really can't walk up against Gravia right now, who is going to pop the Subjugate, however. So that's going to be a little bit. That's not going to be something that they're going to have in the fights to come. However, it does look like instead they are just going to potentially reset, try to push the lanes in again, get as much value as they can out of this Baron power play.
Yep.
And potentially, I mean, this does kind of work in GURL's favor, because if they are able to get a slightly, a nicer engage than they had in that previous fight, then they might be able to hold out for another fight in the Soul that's spawning in 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, I mean, despite that fight being so crazy, I know, I get it, dude. I almost did the same thing as you and had to mute my mic to let out a really big sheesh in the background. so it's okay.
Oh, man.
We got to take a breather sometimes. But meanwhile, we did have that Baron. They were not able to get much out of it there for the side of PTP, because they do trade Brown Jesus for the enemy mid laner, it being 4v4 on the map. They just did not have enough of the pressure to knock down any of the enemy turrets. But it's 14-14. We're now at that late game point, and this is where Stove exactly is where he needs to be to succeed and to thrive into the late game. Although we're at the 3-item power spike for both of the AD carries, Stove successfully got out of the lane phase okay, and now this is really his time to shine, so we got to watch out for him in some of these team fights coming up.
I mean, I agree, absolutely. You know, he's done a really, really good job considering how tough that early game was. And I mean, that's the beauty of Vayne, of course. You scale so phenomenally well that if you are just able to hold out, get some kills and some CS on the board as the game progresses, then you can be an absolute monster.
Ooh.
As we see. Oh,
wow.
Let's grab your flash.
Actually good that he wasn't able to land a Zenith Blade, because now Black Venom is able to try to run away. Brown Jesus looking to move forward. Same with Gravia, but they're not able to quite find the engage they're looking for. But again, Dragon up in 30 seconds. They're establishing control little by little over the Dragon Pit as Nico looking to run away.
Oh, wow.
There's the Nether Grasp, and your soul shall be shackled. That's going to be it for Nico. Now going to be 5v4 on the map. 48 seconds on the death timer. 22 on Dragon.
Oh, and that's absolutely catastrophic for GURL now, who have no control over their jungle whatsoever.
Here it is, Lolo. Black Venom already has to walk away from the fight as Llama looking to try to provide a little bit of appeal for the rest of the team. Black Venom now going to be getting too low. Still going to fall as well. Llama looking to survive. He goes down.
Oh,
Pancakes falls. Everyone dies. It is a bloodbath in the red side jungle. And it's Team PTP who takes down the enemy laners and everyone on the map. And here they are looking to end it right now. Might have to settle for an inhibitor.
I think they can. I mean, this team just it demolishes structures so quickly, waves as well, and just overall, I think they got everything they could have wanted out of that play. Like, it really was just after Nico went down, there was no way even that GURL could really contest that 5v4, given how badly they lost 5v5 in the previous Dragon fight. And
Right.
I mean, things to take away, I suppose, are that one thing I will say straight up is I really did not have faith in this comp. I bow to you, Shneki, for having faith in that blue side, because genuinely,
Yep.
it won out so heavily. I mean, look at the damage coming in from the Xerath as well, in particular.
Yeah. Well,
Which we questioned so heavily.
Yeah. It's a really good surprise for me, right? Typically, I'm the dude who gets the damn predictions wrong. I literally just got done casting for Unified last season, and I got banned by my co-caster from making predictions because I always cast or cursed it, man. So, Lolo,
Wow.
you were the one who broke the
It was
curse.
me. Oh,
It was
well,
you, man.
I was gonna say maybe my curse is just even stronger than yours, Shneki. I don't.
Oh, so we're just both cursed and you're just extra cursed? Man, that is
potentially,
the
yeah.
worst ending to the story. but look, back to the game. Although we did have PTP win and we know how much this game meant for GURL, when we have Llama x PTP now on Team GURL as the jungle, and also when you have Stove as Dieted saying so much about how that Vayne versus Vayne could potentially be in terms of which player might be better, I gotta tell you, both Llama and both Stove still did a phenomenal job, and I don't think you can walk away from that game the least bit upset and maybe just more excited for the next time they could potentially meet.
Absolutely, and you know, GURL have obviously had a lot of teething troubles, I guess, like
Right.
in terms of you know, just building themselves. I mean, that's going to put them 1-7 in the standings so far, and I mean, there's lots to take away. They feel like, you know, they're trying to synergize. Obviously, they have new players on the team. Both sides do, of course, but
Oh yeah, man.
it'll be there are a lot of things they can take away from that, and I think I agree. They should be fairly satisfied for sure, like with the way they played that game, because it really was so close for the majority until we sort of got into that Drake fight,
Yep.
and so many things went wrong. You know, just
Oh yeah.
it kind of snowballed from there. But on the other side, PTP, I mean, I spoke to Vaynel, as I said, prior to the game, and he said, you know, we're reformed, we're back, we're here, we are going to make waves. You wait, and they delivered. They really delivered today.
Yup, ain't nothing but a couple of GURL problems to get through here for the side of
Ooh.
GURL, but it still is PTP who will walk away with the win. And on that note, we are going to get ready. Before we go to our next game, we're going to take a brief intermission. We're going to have an interview set up with one of the players of the winning team here. And on that note, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay glued to the seats. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, everyone. Chris Edgeworth here with our first interview tonight, and I'm joined by Cyborg Skull, the support player playing Xerath this game for Pentakill Teemo Please. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I got to play Fasting Xerath, so, you know, what do you do?
Fasting Xerath, is that really the new meta that we're in? God help us.
Yo, I honestly, if my coach would let me, I would play nothing but mages bot lane. It's so much fun. The support item gives an absurd amount of gold.
You're the person that I always hate when I decide to like be smart for the team, and I'm like, I'm gonna play Braum this game, or I'm gonna play Thresh, and then I see someone who's having actual fun as a support playing a mage, like hee hee hee. So, yeah, okay, I see how it is, Cyborg Skull. You're that kind of support. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about that kind of support play in a second. Let's talk first about this draft. So as we said, you got the Xerath. You folks snuck away a Nico special with the Malzahar. Also, I love the Gravial Trundle that you folks pulled out. What did you think about what you folks had and what you're up against on their side?
So we went into it knowing that, like, we basically called their team before the thing. The team that we wanted to put them on was Tom, whatever jungler they're gonna get, Syndra, Vayne, and Leona. And lo and behold, Tom, Syndra, Vayne, Leona, and whatever jungler. So our plan was to get Gnar, Amumu, or Sedge, Malzahar first pick because it puts it forces Nico onto Syndra because it's her 3 picks. And then we wanted Tristana bot. Samira, if they somehow got through on Mord, even though we were banning it first. This is just thoughts. And then me on either Zyra or Xerath. Xerath if we don't get a Mumu or Sedge. Zyra if we do. And the plan was basically we knew that because all the trash talk coming out beforehand, we basically kind of knew that Stove was going to go on Vayne. And the easiest way to deal with Vayne is not to let her play the game. So I played Bully. Just bully her out of lane.
Talk to us a little bit about that if you would. So as you said, it's a support item diff. You know, obviously the mage support item is like ridiculous compared to the
dumb.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's really good. And then also, I mean, you're just playing Xerath in the bot lane, which is all like it's never fun to play against Xerath in the bot lane, especially because when you have when you have the bad Xeraths, it's like against you, it's just like, oh well, this guy might run around and do random shit in other lanes, but when they're not looking because they're not expecting this guy, and I know he's bad. Or you get the like nightmare mode Xeraths that, you know, are like you. So talk to me about this laning matchup for you. You brought in the Xerath, you made Vayne's life hell. What was this thought on how the lane went and how you folks were able to take over this game?
It went exactly how we wanted to. With the interview that I did last night, we talked about after 27 minutes we would have control of the game. Hopefully the early game goes well. It did. I basically got to let Tristana play PvE for 20 minutes, farm up. I think we were up at by 40 CS at one point. Like, I'm not saying that they did poorly, but it's kind of hard to play into. Okay, like WQ, their jungler's coming bot, we walk away, right? Like, how do you play into that without wasting way too much time bottom as the jungler? I don't know. And also, like, there was a lot of missed dodges on the part of Stove. You would like roll after it hit him and stuff like that, which is not, it's just execution, right? The intent is there. He's doing what he's got the idea, but just missed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's an important point about playing in these more amateur leagues. It's like it's not everything is going to be perfect. I was making this point the other night when I was talking with Chris Sunga when he made his debut on the LJLOU broadcast. Check that out. But when you look at more amateurish, and this was for an academy league even, it's like you folks might understand like what you're doing. They might have seen have an idea of how they're trying to execute, and then it just comes down to execution failures. And those things can happen to people who are not putting in the hours and have the time and experience with these games. The pros do. That's just really the long and short of it. So, and plus Xerath is just really like not a matchup that I think most people see often in solo queues. So they're not going to have a lot of reps against it. So, you know, these things happen. I think that it was the right call on your folks. So really excellent to hear that you folks had all of this prep made and that it paid off heavily for you. Now, Cyborg Skull, before we step away to our next game, I'd like to give you the opportunity. Any final thoughts before we go to our next game?
Hope the rest of the games are good. Good luck to everybody, and jungle diff.
All right, folks. Well, congrats to Pentakill Teemo, please, and thanks Cyborg Skull again for this interview. We're going to take a short intermission. We'll be back with Game 2 in just a moment, so don't go anywhere.